How you doing? It's your boy Jamal coming in live from the new school. We have a great guest today. His name is Joshua Perry. He's a clothing designer, entrepreneur, straight out of Harlem. He's here to talk to us about his brand and cultural appropriation in fashion. So, without further ado, here's Josh, and tell us a little bit about your brand and yourself.
Well, my name is Josh. My designer name is also, Mike Josh, and I have a clothing brand. It's called YENIM by Mike Josh. So the overall, brand stems from a conglomerate of, a brand called Industry of Athlete. And basically, what the clothing is basically vintage garments, with a futuristic, twist. So. My style is like 90s, inspired. So I'll have certain garments and whatnot and just give it a futuristic twist. So like designer streetwear. That's really what it is.
Okay. All right. I got some questions here for you, so get ready.
No problem.
What are some of your artistic influence and how have they shaped the way you create your art?
Artistic influences.
What inspired you? What got you on your way to making your fashion art?
Well, if you could go back to the beginning, all the way back to like 6th grade, I actually started out just distressing, denim jeans. It was just one time I was going to Central Park East Middle School.
It's a great school.
Yeah, I was going there, it's 5 at Jamal. And I was walking home one time, and this when True Religion was crazy at that time. Like, you ain't have True Religions, or you ain't have no antique denim, Tavanini sold denim, you just wasn't it. But I seen this guy, he had some Trues on, and they had a whole bunch of rips in them. So I was looking how did this guy have these jeans on? They was just ripped. But it wasn't holes in the jeans, it was they just tore the top layer of the fiber off. So I had went and actually did research on it. And, I watched a few videos and I taught myself how to actually distress denim. So I found out that there was different tools that you could use for it and whatnot. And my favorite tool, personally, is I use a razor, a scalpel, and scissors.
So you're a self-taught designer.
Yeah, basically everything I know about designing now, I basically taught myself. So, later on, and that was just when I was in 6th, 7th grade. Later on as I got older, my mind started to expand more. There were more pieces of clothing that I looked at and certain, little details that I learned about, that I noticed about clothing that I wanted to learn. So, further looking into denim, I saw that there were different styles as far as patchworks and painting on denim, and I looked well, you know what, these people could do this, then I could do it too. So I later on figured out how to go about sewing, and I also taught myself how to sew. So I learned different types of stitching. I know the halfback double stitch, the cross stitch, blanket stitches, run through stitches, I know just about a couple stitches, just to do some things. And that's when I learned how to, change the color in clothing, as far as my more artsy clothing wear. There's times where, let's say I have a denim jacket or something, and it'll be a dark blue color, and instead of me creating it on a dark blue canvas, I'll change the color, turn it light blue, and dye it, yellow, and it'll turn green, and then go from there, and I'll probably paint on it, write some stuff on it, so it's all really how I feel, at the moment. But
so it sounds like you're an emotional, experimental designer. That's cool.
Yeah.
So another question I got is cultural identities important to your artistry?
I feel yeah, and I feel the reason why it is because a lot of my stuff that I've put together actually came from where I come from. I'm from Harlem.
Okay.
Where is basically known for fashion. You have to have a very distinctive look, for a person to know that you're from Harlem.
Okay.
So, and I feel me personally, I have a very distinctive look because I work in Brooklyn. So when I come to work in Brooklyn, and me dressing the way I dress, walking the way I walk, and everything, people just automatically know, like, oh yeah, that guy, he's from Harlem, man.
That's your cultural
That's my
identity.
cultural identity. Yeah,
Right.
like a Harlem guy, Harlem designer, So it definitely plays a part, where you from, where you grew up at, things like that play a part.
Okay. Next up. Do you incorporate your cultural identity into your work?
Yeah, I actually do, because growing up in New York City in general, New York is a very fashion forward place, so like, me personally, I'll basically take certain things that, like for example, streetwear like hoodies and, like crew necks and, stuff like simple garments. I'll take those that I see that people wear all the time and just give it my own twist, my own form of enhancement, so add like a futuristic concept to it or a vintage concept, and just go from there. So that's the way how I actually put it into it.
Okay. So how do we as consumers or as individuals, how do we identify with cultural appropriation?
As consumers,
Or even as an artist, like how do you notice when something's been appropriated?
Well, I feel like me as an artist, I notice when is being appropriated because even like, let's say like Japanese people, like they sometimes cultural the word appropriate some of our stuff because well we watch them just as much as they watch us. So certain things that they see us do, they'll take it from us, and wear it over there in their own way, and we'll take some stuff from them and wear it over here in our own way. So that's my way of viewing it. Just being in different places and different countries, my own personal experience. I noticed that even in London, certain things that we wear, they'll wear over there, but it's just they'll wear it in a different form. Here we wear more bright colors. Over there they'll wear more dark colors and everything,
So would you say that they are, the Japanese people and even the people in London, are they appreciating our culture or are they appropriating? See, the difference between the two is appropriating is pretty much like intercepting it, like taking it and saying that you invented it and saying that you are the originator of it. And appreciation is, you got the hip hop culture over in Japan and they want to wear Timberland boots and fitteds and all that, so they appreciating it, but they're not saying that they started it or anything like that.
I feel like sometimes, some people appreciate it, some people, they don't. Like an example for you said, I would probably say like we invented this, like for one of my favorite designers, Dapper Dan, he was somebody who actually went through, a form of cultural, appropriation and stuff,
Just tell us a little bit about Dapper Dan.
Yeah, Dapper Dan is actually a black designer from Harlem, like very known very well for his clothing in the 1980s. And what he would do basically is like kind of what I do now. He would get the garments and and get certain materials and just reconstruct the garment. So he used to get like a lot of Gucci bags, Louis bags and stuff, and actually turn these handbags into clothing, and he'll make a jacket out of a Gucci bag or something, or a jacket out of a Louis Vuitton bag. And the more he did it, the more people in Harlem, would actually come to him, and people from all over would come to him because his creations were creations that these companies weren't making. So he actually went through it because they eventually, tried to sue him and say what he was doing was wrong and everything. And then 20 years later, they taking a design that he made in the 1980s and putting it out now and saying that, oh, this is the new Gucci design. But this man did this 20 years ago. And now, these companies want to work with him now.
Nice.
So
they pretty much appropriated him, and now you're trying to appreciate him.
Yeah, I feel like we don't get enough credit for what we do. I feel like, as an African American, we're really the most, innovative people. We could turn nothing into everything, and we don't get, no credibility for that at all. Like, you know, you'll have people come and see what we doing and, you know, try to like talk to us and, you know, like pretty much try to take our mind, you know, away from what we doing, and then later on, you know, they saying, oh, they invented this, when in our reality we did this. You know, so.
So do you think we can stop cultural appropriation, or do you think we're able to pretty much step up to people who are appropriating or entities, TV, movies, fashion companies, music, step to them and let them know, you know, this is appropriation and this is what you should do, or should we just leave it in the hands of?
I mean, I feel like we can, you know, step up, but it's gonna have to really take like a large number of us, you know, to make that work. Because I could feel like this, you could feel like this, and you know, we go into a company and they gonna look at us like, all right, it's just two young black kids that just feel like this, you know. But then if it's a large number of us, you know, we hitting the media, we hitting television, we hitting radios, you know, where these are things that people listen to, watch, you know, every day, social media, you know, and I feel like it'll have an impact because it'll attract, you know, the bigger fish, and they'll take a look and be like, oh, okay, well, you know what, if these people feel this way or something, you know, maybe we could work something out, you know. So, but I don't think that the cultural appropriating is gonna stop. It's been something that's been going on longer than me, you, our parents, even our grandparents even thought about. You know, it's something that's been going on forever. So I don't think it'll stop, but it's just the way that it's being going about, you know, has to change. Like, you know, these people can't just take, you know, certain ideas from us and designs and just say, oh, okay, they came up with it first. It doesn't really work like that, you know.
Do you have like a certain demographic you promote your clothing to, or is it open to everybody? Who's your audience?
It's basically open to everybody. You know, I'll just look at it like this: if you like what I'm doing and you love what I'm doing, then it's for you. You know, if you don't, then hey, I mean, I can't change your mind. You know, I'm just a guy that doing what he loves to do. You know, so it's for the people who love, you know, what I do. You know, when I make something and I take a picture of it and put it on Instagram, Facebook, wherever, you know, it's for those people who, you know, like what I do, who love it, you know, want to support it. And it's for those people to see. If you don't want to see it, it's just easy. Just press the unfriend button, press the unfollow button, and there you go. You know?
How would you feel, or how would you react to someone taking your design and putting it on their product or putting it in there without giving you the proper?
I'm probably gonna be mad as shit. I ain't gonna front at first. I'm gonna be mad as shit, but then after, I'm gonna actually take a look and I'm gonna be like, you know what, man? For a person to copy you, that's just a form of flattery. That just means that you're doing something right, and somebody's watching that, and you know they felt like, oh, okay, like I want to do something like that too. So I look at it more as admiration, you know, like that. But overall, like I said, I would be tight. God forbid that happened, I would be mad as hell. But I'm like, with me, I'm just an innovative person. So if anything, I'll probably come up with something better, something that you would look at and be like, damn, well, I got his old work that's fire, but this new stuff that he got now, like, damn, how am I gonna get this now? You know, so I would probably code it better. I would probably do, you know, something different. You know.
Maybe we can go over inspirations again.
Yeah.
So you travel the world. Tell us about, you know, your culture, your family, and your type of inspirations and the places you've been and the inspiration that you've tapped into. Because I know Japanese culture is something that's interesting to you. So, you know, I just want us to know if you're able to tap into their culture and appreciate theirs.
Yeah.
Or could they look at yours as appropriation as well?
Yeah. I mean, same thing, you know, with them. Like, you know, I like that they have a futuristic look. You know, like the Japanese letters, you know, it's so different. So, to me, I appreciate what they do, you know, a lot. And, you know, I would never want to, like, you know, see somebody make something and make it the exact same way. Like, no, I would probably take a little piece of their culture. You know, probably a little piece that I feel that's significant, and I would take that and incorporate it into a garment that I'm making. A lot of my inspiration has actually came from different factors in life. I mean, inspiration that hits you at just any given moment. Like, I have moments where I'm here on the train, going from point A to point B or something, and somebody I have on, a jean jacket, like in a pocket or something would look, embroidered in a certain way. I would look at that and be like, oh, that was dope the way that looks, and I would go home and be like, all right, I seen something like this today, but I don't want to make it exactly the way how I seen it. What would I do differently? It was cool the way it was, but how would I make it even better? So I would do that. Even, visiting different countries, one of the most influential places that I've seen so far was Europe. Even being in London, London, they dress like us in a way too, but they wear darker colors, so it's like out there, because they come from a gloomy environment, I see why they dress in darker colors.
They're like Seattle.
Yeah, like Seattle, like type of vibe. It's like very rainy over there, so their fashion and also their weather too. In the summertime, it feels like the spring. So a lot of times, they'll walk around with trench coats in the middle of July on, or flight jackets and bomber jackets and stuff, So I've been over there and I've seen a few things over there that I like, and seen, it looked a certain way, and I'll come back home and say, okay, I want to make something like this, but not the same way. I want to make it, similar, but just with my own twist and my own edge to it. And that's how, I've come up with a lot of inspirations. Even something simple. I could be watching TV, and if a character got on something that, I like.
Like an anime, right?
Yeah, like even an anime, or even a regular, TV. Like me, I like Game of Thrones. Okay. And me personally, I feel like the person is one character, and that's Daenerys Targaryen. And me personally, whoever designs her costumes is lit. Right. Like, it's lit, man, because like the detailing in it and everything is just like, very dope. Like even like now, I'm asking to speak on, some works that I have in work, but I have a trench coat that I'm actually designing, and the inspiration actually came from Game of Thrones.
Oh, word.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a medieval vibe, like in the details, and then, like the other, like, departments and of the jacket is more of a futuristic concept. So it goes back to me grabbing a piece from the past and then grabbing a piece from the future, putting it together, and then coming to the present. So
that is legit. Yeah. Okay, so yes, just let us know where we can find your art, where we can purchase your YENIM, your Mike Josh designs, where we can, step into your world.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Mike_Josh, also on Facebook, Joshua D. Perry. Any purchases you want to make or anything, you can, DM me, message me. I answer all messages. So either way, you can email me too at yenimbyMikeJosh@gmail.com. And, that's about it.
And you signing off.
Yeah.
Sayonara.